Our second Star Trek shorts CBS All Access really needs to upgrade their player. We discover that this is actually entertainment for some poor schmuck in a life pod, but today is his lucky day. He's about to be rescued. Sure, it's by Discovery, but even that has to be better than dying in a coffin. Well, probably. He wakes up in a darkened sickbay, no one around, no one to help or give answers, yet we can see that he's being observed by someone. He takes out a medical tool, but he immediately spins it absent-mindedly with the "I am using this as a skilled warrior" sound effect. You know the one I mean. So we know this guy is a badass, even if he is in his underwear. He grabs a jumpsuit to fix that, but it's too small. So it's nice that Zora, the woman who brought him aboard, makes one for him that will fit. But he is suspicious. His wounds have been treated, yes, but he's also clearly being isolated, forced to travel only one way because Zora is only turning on the lights in that direction. Although there is nothing to worry about, it's just to the mess hall, where fortunately large quantities of food are not going to be thrown at him. Not this week. Zora explains that the crew is gone right now, so he asks her to join him, not realizing that Zora already has, because the woman isn't really a woman, she's the ship's computer. I guess it was lucky he was stuck in that pod with Betty Boop and not with 2001: A Space Odyssey. Our visitor won't give his name, just that people call him Kraft. As in crafty, not the cheesemakers. Zora has deduced that Kraft is indeed a soldier and that his life pod was stolen from the enemy, hence why it was stuck on Betty Boop on endless loop. His enemies are the Vidresh, who value relics from the long ago, like Betty Boop, which suggests that they are humans, but humans fighting humans in a 10-year-long war at this particular time? That seems odd. But Zora reveals that, in fact, this is 1,000 years in the future from where they started. Thus, pronunciation changes over time. Like, for example, the way that busyness became business, and every became every. Federation became Vidresh. Does that mean that the Federation is evil, or is he the bad guy? Well, none of that is the point here. The point is, we have a computer that has become self-aware, and damn it, I've seen all 300 Terminator movies, so that has me worried. Kraft would like to go home, and there is one shuttle that might make it, but it's new and untested. Doesn't even have a name yet. And Discovery can't leave because Zora has orders to stay here. And it would be embarrassing after waiting 1,000 years that the crew was found frozen in space because she popped away for a couple of weeks thinking that it would be no big deal. So with no other choice, Kraft stays and settles into things, getting by while Zora provides food and interaction, and eventually a Fred Astaire movie on the big screen on the bridge that she adores. The movie, not the screen. I mean, I'm sure she likes the screen well enough, but it's the movie that really excites her. Funny face. Zora even tries recreating the environment back home for Kraft to enjoy. And with all these niceties that she does, he decides to give something back, learning to dance from watching Fred Astaire and even dressing in fine clothes to give her a magical evening. She first appears as Audrey Hepburn, but at Kraft's prompting, instead formulates an original appearance. They dance for a time, and no, it is not the Calypso. That's not what the title means. But they are having a grand old time until they're about to kiss. And Kraft remembers that he has a wife and child waiting for him back home, and he can't keep doing this.
Kraft, you weren't doing anything wrong. I'm not really a person. You know that. It doesn't mean anything.
Kraft does call Zora on her lying, though, because she is a person. And it doesn't mean anything. It means everything to her. She eventually calls him to sickbay and synthesizes a new suit for him to prepare him for his trip back home in the shuttle, having named it, and him, Funny Face. The Calypso of the title is a reference to the one from Homer's The Odyssey, with Kraft in the role of crafty Odysseus and Zora in the role of Calypso. There are several nods to it, such as the 10-year-long war and the wife and child back home. But while that serves as the clear inspiration for the work, the story is about how even a computer can learn to love. What form of love one wants to consider it is open to debate, but the idea of being isolated long enough to develop consciousness suggests that this love could be considered platonic rather than romantic. Right up until the moment when Zora's avatar sheds a tear at the termination of their dance, which clinches that it really is romantic love that she feels. Unlike last time's Runaway, Calypso could not be told in a traditional way, couldn't function as a B-plot, and probably would run too long otherwise. The strength of the work is its brevity. 1/3 to 1/4 the size of a typical Discovery episode, and yet it's never rushed. The chemistry is impressive, especially when one is only a voice and only appears opposite briefly, played by a different actor than the one who is voicing Zora. In my previous looks, I've said that I can't score episodes such as Family on TNG or 1159 on Voyager because they're just so different from the norm of what the show is. And something comparable is found here. This is more like a Black Mirror plotline than a Star Trek episode. Yet I must reiterate that this is not a bad thing. When Star Trek is willing to stray from the familiarity of itself and into new territory, it often finds something grand. And this is one of the best examples of that. Calypso truly shows the potential of short treks by being brave enough to give us no familiar characters and the simple plot of falling in love and having the talent to take both those elements and nevertheless make it work. I would argue, in fact, that Calypso is the first truly positive sign since CBS All Access started that Star Trek in this new era has promise. And the fact that its writer, Michael Chabon, is leading the creation of Star Trek Picard offers further hope that this will be the case.